All right, first and most of all, thank you. To my new bosses, to the anchors and reporters and staff here at NewsNation, to Dusty, my EP, and my new team, and to you, thank you. Thank you so much. I know that I wouldn't be here without your support, and the support of my wife and kids and family and friends. And that means everything to me. And it means everything to what I'm going to bring to you every night, no matter where, no matter what. Now look, I'd like to just dive right into the issues that are being ignored at home and abroad, and we will. But obviously, this isn't a normal show start, given how I got here. So a word about that first. Shakespeare wrote in The Tempest that the past is prologue, meaning that all that has happened before led to this moment. And so it is with me being here with you tonight. I believe that. I've learned lessons, good and bad, in the past many months. I've relied on my family, my friends, my therapist, and thankfully, it's been the case that what doesn't kill us does make us stronger. I've been humbled by what happened, and I'm also hungry to do better in a way that I've never been before. So this show is going to be different than what I've done in the past because I'm different. And I've spent a lot of time looking and listening on the sidelines. It's obvious to me that we need people in my position to do more, to not just play or even referee the game that is plaguing our politics and society. That means exposing the game, show when it's played, show how it's being played, and also to be more transparent about where my head is on the issues that we cover. I also have a new appreciation for exactly how unique my situation is. Most people in my business know politics from the outside. I know it from the inside. You may know this, but I was raised by a giant named Mario Cuomo. He's gone, but his legacy lives on in me, my brother, my sisters, all our kids, my mother, and so many members of the old Democratic Party. So I've seen the inner workings of campaigns and the interplay between politics and government and the interplay between the media and those in power in a way few in my position have. Now you add to that the fact that I've been doing this job for more than 20 years. Don't let the makeup fool you. I was #1 at CNN. I held high positions at ABC News for a dozen years before that, and I began at Fox News. So I know the deal, inside and out. I've been all over this beautiful world, showing the best and worst of humanity. I've been a witness to history for most of the major events in the past 2 decades. So now I want to bring all of that to the table to help you. And my goals are very simple. I want you to count on me going where it matters, whether that means anywhere in the world or to wherever I must go in an interview. The hope is to get viewers like you more involved and empowered. That's why I'm at NewsNation. It's new. No groupthink established here. No audience that has been conditioned to favor one team or ideology. After all, NewsNation refers to you, America. You are the news nation, and we will keep the focus on your interests. As we cover the elections, we can bring it home here like no one else can. We have 200 affiliates. No one can match that number or that reach. So we can show you what's determining a race, where it's happening, not just according to paid pundits or correspondents that fly in and out or some national party headquarters speak. Here, we're all about depth of discussion. We're going to look at what matters and why, here and online. That's why I started the Chris Cuomo Project. It's a podcast. We're going to have longer discussions about what matters. This show and the podcast will work together to give you the most food for thought that we can. And as loud and as angry as our world can sound, here's the fact. Regular people like you, not the fringe, are the overwhelming majority. I know you want better. I know you know there's a game afoot. And I know you want it to change. But I'm not coming from a place of cynicism. I'm an optimist. And there's good news. You will hear about what makes us great. And you will see how the faces and places in this nation are interconnected and interdependent. That we still dare to care about one another, both across the street or across the country. The simple truth is that America is the beacon of a better life for most people and most places all over the world. And at home, we still have more advantages than most. And here's a message that we need to hear a lot more, especially from those in power. We are still nowhere near our potential. We are manipulated by manufactured division that only works to advance the interests of the fringe and the fake. It is only online and how that can be echoed on TV that distorts the reality. Of course there's division, especially now. But it's not all bad or as bad as you see on social media. Social media is not reality. And people like me in the media, we should have never relied on social media as vox populi, the voice of the people, because it isn't. In a recent survey, less than 20% identify themselves as strong Democrat or strong Republican. Less than 20%. The fastest growing part of our electorate is those of you who don't identify with either party. The majority is not about left or right. You're about reasonable. That's why I'm going to rely not on reading tweets to measure your feedback. I want to go old school here. You see the number that's going to pop up on your screen? I'll read it. 1-844-968-7720. Let's go old school. Call in. You got something you want to say to me? Something you like, something you don't like? Make a phone call, and I'll take calls whenever I can. It'll be a time for us to discuss our society as adults in the room, not some raging radicals or somebody with keyboard muscles. Own what you want to say it to me, let's have a conversation. Here we're going to push those you elected to explain how to make things better. Here we will not allow leaders to play situations to their advantage instead of yours. Now here's what I mean. You look at school shootings, right? They're a plague on our society. You got more than, 300,000 of our kids now have been exposed to them since Columbine, which I covered. The number one gun crime in this country is suicide. You rarely hear that, if ever. The numbers aren't even close, by the way. But we don't discuss it. Why? Suicide doesn't fuel division, and division is the game. Now look, full disclosure, I'm a gun owner. Most gun owners I know don't want the wrong people getting high-power weapons with high capacities. And polls show a majority of us are against so-called assault weapons, and yet the minority rules. And even if you want to focus on the role of emotional distress and illness and mass shootings, and I think we should, our leaders still don't look to solve it. And here's the proof. It's not my opinion. We just had a vote in Congress for more resources to help those in distress in our schools. Not a single member of the GOP voted for it. Why not? When they point to this issue as mattering every time we have a school shooting. There's a simple answer. Because they didn't get school security money that they wanted. Now look, I'm fine with my kids having armed security protecting them if needed. A big reason you don't hear about school shootings in big cities, and certainly not at the scale or the frequency that we cover elsewhere, is because of the enhanced security that you have in those schools. But the fact that you wouldn't vote for something that makes it better because you didn't get everything you wanted, that's the game. And it is time to change that game. Immigration. All you hear about is migrants, especially the ones who enter illegally. They don't talk about legal immigration, even though we have such a shortfall of people to take jobs that are absolutely essential to our economy. Why? It doesn't breed division. And if you want to know what the biggest motivator is for people to risk their lives to sneak into this country illegally, it's not that they're evil drug mules. All right, I've been there. I've lived it. It's the enticement by large-scale employers. Why hardly any mention of them, right or left? Why? Why is all the focus on the migrants? The game. It allows the left to show that the right has no heart, and for the right to show that the left has no head for law and order. Again, the problem works better for them than finding a solution. That is the game, and we have to change the game. One more, college debt. What's the battle? Who pays to forgive loans? Why don't we ever talk about why college is so expensive? Any parent out there with a kid in school knows exactly what I'm talking about. We were happy to send our kid to college. Hopefully all three will make it there. But the prices are out of control. Why don't we talk about it? Because just like with immigration, they would rather talk about the problem than mess with the powerful, including big liberal universities. They'd have to mess with them. The power would have to be compromised to get a solution. So you don't hear it. The division is what pays. The day that we move past a simple position of opposition between left and right and move toward reasonable, that is the day that we change the game. Now, if you think about it, referring to our politics as a battle between right and left, it's kind of new. We used to be about the parties. But as the parties became just ideological bases of opposition and increasingly negative perspectives on our reality, they lost their identity. That's why I believe we need more parties. We need ranked choice voting, term limits in Congress, and for presidential electors to be apportioned in the states that matter. Now, I'm saying this to you as someone who's in the news and information business. I'm not a leader. I just want our leaders to lead. This is not something that should be unique. It should be common. You need more choice. so that there's more pressure on people to create progress instead of just noise. And look, the game is played by both sides, period. And social media and digital outlets that profit off it make the problem worse. But that does not mean that I see all the players in the game as equal, okay? You got to look at both sides, but it doesn't mean that it's a 50-50 split. In politics, what you ignore, you often empower. And the right has made a mistake in its silence for too long. Our election was not stolen. Your Republican leaders know this, and yet too many are too quiet while spending too much time being too loud on social media about things that matter a lot less. And it is a mistake. Senator Susan Collins, Republican from Maine, she made news this weekend by saying that she wouldn't be surprised if a lawmaker gets killed, given all the talk of violence and threats in the air. She said she's had to call police. She said people come to her home and they're ugly with what they're saying. It's not right. I've had good conversations with the senator, and I believe she acts in good faith. But as things got worse, she too got quiet. It doesn't make what's happening to her right. It is absolutely dead wrong to threaten anyone in power, to threaten anyone, let alone a senator. But she does have a responsibility, they all do, to speak out against the ugly and the injustice and the indecency, not just when it targets them. They have a responsibility to shout down the absurdity within their own ranks and play to the interests of regular people like you who are moving away from the process because of all the poison. Now, I do believe the left has an opportunity for high ground because of these attacks on our democracy. And the upcoming midterms may well be affected by a reaction to January 6th and election tales. But if you want to say you're better, you need to show that you're better. And letting Democrat dollars fund extreme fringe right candidates in primaries shows that they, too, see too much value in playing the game. To be honest, I really don't see how in this current two-party configuration either side can change the game on its own accord. Opposition has simply become too valuable. It's too powerful a position in an electorate. You know, people ask you to vote for them all the time because the other person's worse, or they'll stop the other person. Nobody's telling you how they're going to make it better. Here, I want to make a play to you as the majority, because only you can change the game. That's what I mean when I talk about you being a free agent. Free agent is somebody with no team or tribe. You know who you are. Most of you are what? Socially liberal, fiscally conservative, right? But you're open to ideas, even if you disagree. Live and let live, not caught up in judging everyone and everything. That's reasonable. That's what will change the game. This show will be topical, but it won't be typical. Topical, not typical. I'm not going to follow the pack. I'm here to expose the game. When you see it, I'm going to say it. And I'm going to show you how this is why these things get covered this way. This is what this move means by the left. This is what this move means by the right. And I believe that we can focus on common ground with our leaders here and the collective will to find solutions. We can't obsess on government investigations and fabricated fights at home and ignore the real ones. How little have you heard about Iran? It's one of the good things that social media does. It can bring attention to emerging situations. Why isn't it every day? You don't think that what's happening in Iran right now is going to spill over into how they deal with us? We obsess on the alleged swamp in D.C., but we forget about Jackson, Mississippi? Our own people in the capital city? They've had to boil water into recently. They still don't trust it. The government says it's ready to file a complaint after all these months. Why hasn't more been done? We know why. It's not enough attention. Hurricane Ian was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But you know what's going to happen? The cameras are going to leave. And they're going to leave at exactly the time when the most attention is needed. Not for the spectacle of the storm, but when the insurance claims are made and people are desperate for help and it isn't coming. We will be there, and I will stay on that. Most won't, but this show is not going to be typical. That's how you change the game. So you get where I'm coming from and where the team here wants to go with you and for you. Now there's nothing to it but to do it.